Hello everyone, I'm Rhea Joan B. Marcos, a first year BS Biology student, and the topic I've selected to discuss is one of the most important challenges that Filipino adolescents face today, which is no longer than the teenage pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy, or also called teen pregnancy or adolescent pregnancy, is when a woman under 20 gets pregnant. It pertains to teenagers aged 15 to 19. However, it can involve females as young as 10. Teenage pregnancies and parenting are a worldwide topic of concern and a major social and health issue that needs to be addressed because it has negative implications for youth. They are vulnerable to pregnancy and a variety of highly infectious illnesses. Teenage pregnancy in the Philippines. So in 2008, the adolescent pregnancy rate in the Philippines was 10%. By 2017, it had dropped to 9%. Live births by adolescent mothers ages 10 to 19 reached 203,085, a figure that fell slightly to 196,478 in 2017 and 183,000 in 2018. Nonetheless, the Philippines has one of the highest rates of adolescent pregnancy among ASEAN member countries. Every day, around 500 young females become pregnant and give birth. Early childbirth has been expected to cost the country up to 33 billion pesos per year in missed chances and foregone profits. According to UNFPA commissioned research, teenagers in the Philippines who began childbearing before the age of 18 are less likely to complete secondary school in 2016. Non-completion of secondary education has an influence on future work option as well as family overall lifetime earnings. Causes of teenage pregnancy. So here are the causes of teenage pregnancy. First is curiosity or experimentation. Next is peer pressure, family-related problems, lack of information, and lastly, the influence of liberal views on sex. Effects of teenage pregnancy in society. So moral principles, ethics, and human decency are all valued in contemporary society. Adolescent pregnancy is unfortunately stigmatized. As progressive as society desires to be, the thought of a pregnant adolescent mother cannot be accepted. Here are some of the negative consequences of adolescent pregnancy on society. So first is illiteracy. So teenagers who become pregnant at a young age are unable to continue their education owing to additional responsibilities, which raises the literacy rate in society. Throughout maternity, the adolescent mother's education is put on hold, and some teens choose to drop out of high school and work to supplement their income. Because of the dread of disgrace, humiliation, and harassment from peers and college mates, most adolescent pregnancies result in education dropouts, according to researches. According to data on teen pregnancy, just one third of teen mothers complete high school and only a handful complete college. Second, loss of government revenue. So governments in most developing countries devise assistance programs to adequately care for adolescent mothers and their dependent children. Because a low qualified mother cannot get a suitable job, she is fully reliant on such government programs to avoid financial ruin. Third, social obligations. So, a teenage mother has to face several social obligations like not getting a good job and not getting respect from friends and family members. The entire social life of the teen mother gets ruined due to her early and unexpected pregnancy, and she has to spend her life in emotional trauma. Fourth is lack of financial support. So, an adolescent mother must deal with a number of social duties, including the inability to obtain a suitable career and the lack of respect from friends and family members. Due to her early and unexpected pregnancy, the adolescent mother's entire social life is shattered, and she is forced to spend the rest of her life in mental misery. Next is increased risk of destitution. So when we talk about increased risk of destitution is when a teenage mother who does not receive adequate financial assistance from her parents or friends, she may face serious financial difficulties. She is having a tough time purchasing basic goods for her newborn baby such as clothes and infant care products. 6. Medical complications. So medical difficulties for both the mother and the infant rise with teen pregnancy. Medical issues such as high blood pressure, anemia, and preterm delivery are frequently caused by a lack of sufficient prenatal care. Regular prenatal checks are recommended, although they are not always practical for the teen mother. Next is emotional crisis. So due to a lack of social support from her family, a teen mother who becomes pregnant at a young age may have a major emotional crisis. Suicide attempts and efforts to self-abort the baby are examples of bad behavior triggered by severe emotional and mental collapse. While receiving unfavorable responses about her pregnancy from society, the adolescent mother suffers from extreme depression. 8. Substance abuse. Substances are an excellent approach to lessen the shock and modify reali- reality. Society is brutal and it frequently pushes teen mothers over the line. It's unsurprising that such women turn to narcotics to cope with the stress. According to studies, young pregnancy has a direct impact on teen drug addiction rates. Ninth, work harder than the others. So if you think parenting is difficult, consider doing it all by yourself with no help and no one to talk to. Teen mothers confront a number of challenges. However, they must work more than others in order to succeed. It is more difficult to assist the child due to low literacy rates and a lack of schooling. 10th is a bad reputation in society. So teenage pregnancy is often seen as a societal problem, and young parents are subjected to public shame and criticism. Teen pregnancy is seen as a social shame, and teen parents are stigmatized by society, which considers them as misfits and strangers. Lastly, higher rates, higher suicide rates. So teenage mothers are more likely to commit suicide due to humiliation and embarrassment, as well as a lack of social support, emotional stress, financial hardships, and cultural estrangement are just a few of the key causes that led to young mother suicide. To assist the young mother overcome suicide thoughts, she needs a strong support structure. Negative impacts. So, teenage pregnancy can have serious consequences for your future. An adolescent mother has a lower chance of finishing high school and pursuing job. Healthcare is expensive and it frequently places additional financial stress on the pregnant adolescent's family. Most adolescent pregnancies are unplanned, and a youngster may be mentally unprepared to deal with becoming parent. That is why, in this circumstance, it is very difficult for you if you become pregnant at a young age because all of the essentials that we require in order to survive are very expensive. And if you become pregnant at a young age, there's a tendency that you won't be able to finish your studies. And if you don't finish your studies, you won't be able to get a good and high paying job. And if you don't have an appropriate and high paying job, your children will suffer from the effects. So most teens who become pregnant decide to abort their children, which is dangerous as it could have an impact to their health, or worse, the mother may die during the abortion procedure because she is unable to withstand the pain. Pregnancy prevention in adolescents. So here are some of the pregnancy prevention in adolescents. So first, comprehensive sexuality education. So it is the extended delay in incorporating CSE or comprehensive sexuality education into the K to 12 curriculum, and it is an opportunity to give young people non-judgmental, scientifically reliable, and age-appropriate sexual reproductive health knowledge. The 2012 RPRH Act includes a clause requiring the Department of Education to conduct comprehensive sexuality education that is age and developmentally appropriate. Second is increasing adolescent and youth resilience and protection. On the contrary to common assumption, there is no evidence that sexuality education programs result in early sexual initiation or greater sexual engagement. CSE or Comprehensive Sexuality Education is the cornerstone of enhancing young people's sexual reproductive health. Young people require correct knowledge on puberty, reproduction, relationships, and sexuality, as well as how to avoid HIV, STIs, and accidental pregnancy. They must also be able to deal with pressure and establish safe and consensual partnerships. Third is enhancing adolescent and youth friendly services such as contraception. Youth and adolescent services offer seclusion in a warm and courteous setting. Adolescents may be discouraged from utilizing their rights under age of consent regulations to seek sexual and reproductive health treatments. According to the RPRH Act of 2012, adolescents in the Philippines require documented parental authorization to seek family planning services. Next is strengthening parental skills for adolescents and youth. So when it comes to discussing sexuality and reproductive health concerns with their children, both parents and teenagers require help. According to studies, adolescent girls' attachment to their parents, particularly their mothers, and a home structure that promotes gender equality have a role in girls' delayed first sex. Parents are also crucial health educators and have a significant effect on their children's attitude and actions. Lastly, increasing the use of media and communications to promote health. According to a 2017 UNFPA research, children's internet usage grows as they become older. This opens up the possibility of implementing youth focused initiatives to maximize the potential of these online venues. These may be used to encourage healthy self-esteem, responsible sexuality, and seeking help. Furthermore, if we truly wish to avoid adolescent pregnancy, parents and guardians of teenagers must pay close attention to and guide them. They must constantly educate them and set and communicate their restrictions. Also, as teens, we must be the ones to take the most actions, and we must constantly keep in mind that we must not engage in any activities that will put us in trouble. It is permissible to date or engage in any relationship since doing so may help us enjoy our adolescent years. But we must always set limits so that we do not compromise our future. According to Rizal, the youth is the hope of our fatherland, and we young ones must act on it. We must constantly choose to do things that will benefit us and help us achieve our goals. Having a kid is not something that should be rushed. There is a time for everything. So for now, let's concentrate on our studies and aim to graduate first so that we can have a bright future. Enjoy your youth, but do not destroy your future. It is okay to enjoy our youth as we only have one life. That is why we must not make we that is why we must make the most of it. However, we must never lose sight of our limitations and prioritize our studies first, since life is not all about dating. We must constantly choose things that will make our lives better. I hope you have learned something from my presentation. Thank you for watching. Bye.